So, here's today's project. I found this alongside the road in a pile of free goodies. It's a Dynaglow kerosene heater. And it's got some issues. This thing's missing a screw and it's dirty. I think that if you don't adjust the wick properly, it'll soot. As you can see, there's a lot of soot on it. Oh, look at all that soot in there. It's like it's bent a little bit right here too. What a mess. Yeah, somebody really had that wick way out of adjustment. Let's take a look down inside there. So there's what it looks like inside. And all these little rings come out of here. This is the hoopy-doo thing for the burner. It's pretty clean. Look at that. Looks pretty decent. Really, it's just all around the outside and kind of down in there. Looks like it's like just some little bit of love. She should be good to go. And a lot of bugs, all kinds of stuff in there. And it looks like the wick's way down. It's a circular, tubular wick. Interesting. Very interesting. So here's all the stuff that I took and got cleaned up. Came out pretty good. There's still a little soot stain right in here, and there's a little bit down there, but it's not. It's just discoloration. There's no actual soot on there. I scrubbed it real good with a green Scotch-Brite pad, so there's nothing there. It's just stained, I guess. And well, I gotta clean that piece up, and then I'm going to take this burner assembly off. There's some wing nuts down here. I'm going to take all that off and get that all cleaned up, and then also clean, there's a lot of bugs and dust and dirt and crud on that I'll get all that cleaned up too. I need something to set that in. We'll just use the old pan from the Farm All C oil change video. And if you haven't seen that one, why don't you check it out? There's a little gasket on there. That wick is kind of cool, isn't it? It's like a tubular thing. Huh. I'll have to pop that out of there and give that a bath too. And I can see right down inside here with the fuel tank, there's a little bit of kerosene left in there, not much. Hate to just throw that away. I think I'll drain it out. I think I'll drain the kerosene out. Maybe I'll put it in there and then pour it into a can, so I can save it. I hate to throw it away. Not when that stuff is $5.99 a gallon. I'm going to peel that wick out of there. It's got 3 little metal pins that go into a bunch of holes down inside. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to peel that wick back. There's the pins, and there's also some little prongs, some little teeth in there that hold the wick in. Huh. Okay. 02 of 15. I wonder if that's the year of manufacture. I'll wring that out. I'll stick that in here. It's one of my little cups that I make out of the propane tanks. But you got to have the ones that have the metal bottom. If they got the bottom that has a plastic cap on it and looks like a 2-liter pop bottle, those aren't any good. You just throw them away. So there's that. You got a little bit of kerosene in the bottom. Yeah, see the slotted. there's an angled slot. Those prongs fit in the angled slot, and when you crank this handle, it travels up that slot and makes the wick go up and down. So this is ready for cleaning. So we'll set that aside. Okay. Let's pour this in here. I think what I'll do is, there's a little blade of grass in there. Something. Anyway, there's bugs and bees' wings and everything else on top of here. So I'm just going to dump everything in the pan, and then I'll filter it out with a funnel back into my kerosene container, which this thing, it doesn't matter if there's sediment in there or not. It's all gonna, it'll settle out, and anything that gets burned is what gets sucked up in the wick. So, perfect. Now I can go ahead and clean that all out. There's quite a bit of, that's just probably, I think this thing holds 8 quarts. I would imagine there's probably, maybe 3 quarts in there. A little over half a gallon. Not too bad. So, anyway, that'll get filtered out and put back in, so we can try it out later. So I'm going to pull these guys off of here. Clean those. Just a couple nuts in here. We'll just throw them in the pile with all the other hardware. There's that. Oh, in case any of you out there are wondering, where did he get these nice latex rubber gloves? Those look really familiar. Well, just to settle any questions that you might have, these actually came from a local medical facility that had some gloves that were outdated. So they can't be used for surgical purposes anymore because they're past their expiration date, which, by the way, is the best marketing tool ever invented by man, is the expiration date. So anyway, just to put that to rest, these were obtained quite legally from a source that had to get rid of them because they were outdated. So good, we got that all put to rest, and I think I may this pan down here is pretty messy also. I think I'm gonna clean that up. This is kind of cool. This is the igniter thing. So there's a little button here that says to push to ignite. So check this out. This is kind of cool. It goes. So you put a couple batteries over here, and then there's a little resistance wire, like a nichrome wire or something like that, that glows red hot. And so the wick is right here, and then this little thing comes up and touches just like that and lights the wick off. So according to the internet, these aren't that reliable, and most people will light them manually just through the little door on that upper part. They will light them manually just with a match or one of those butane things that your wife lights all the candles on the countertop with. Anyway, I just thought it's kind of cool. It's a nifty little mechanism how that pops up. I like that. Anyway, little switch down in there. Push this down, switch makes. Voltage from the battery flows through this thing, and this comes out of there just like a flashlight light bulb. Just a little bayonet. Put it in there. There you go. And the wick, the new wick, comes with one of those, so we'll give it a try. Maybe I'll put it on there. Maybe I won't. Oh, where did that go? Oh well, we're gonna move on. So this thing's got to be put together. There's a little hole. There's a little hole right here. I've got to get these pins here into that hole, all three of them. There's three of them here. So, kind of thinking maybe fold that in half. Put in there. Get one in there. Okay, I think there's one. Last one, right there. There we go. Okay, I'm going to kind of push that wick into those little prongs in that band, and now I've got to get this thing over that tube. Wait a minute. One of these prongs isn't quite in there the way I'd like it to be. There it goes. Okay, try that again. You can see that right there. Just kind of push that down. Actually, I think it's going to go this way. Wick doesn't go up and down. Maybe I should have tried that before I put it on in place. I'll try it again. That goes just fine. It goes up and down there. Okay, so I figured it out. I had it in there correctly, everything was fine. But when you put this burner assembly back down onto the tank, the wick has to be in the fully raised position like this. See how it's up above? Has to be all the way up because there's a set of prongs down on the bottom of this that hold, it keeps the base of it keeps the wick from inching its way up here as you raise and lower it. So basically it makes sure that there's always a certain amount of wick that's down in the kerosene tank. So it just holds that in there. So what was happening is when I put this back in there, the wick was all the way down because as soon as you touch it, boop, that thing goes down. You know, so every time I was monkeying with this thing, if you flip one thing or tilt it the wrong way or press that, the whole thing goes down. So the wick was all the way in the down position the first time I put it on. And then when I tried to raise it up, those prongs that poke in at the bottom were holding the wick and it would not allow it to come up. So figured that out. All right, back on to the assembly. There's the little set screw. So this goes back on here. That just sits on there. And then there's this little handle here. So you can access it through this door. And supposedly when you raise and lower the wick, and so forth, or light it or whatever, you're supposed to go in there and kind of wiggle that around to make sure that it's still so it's not like this. See how it's off? So you wiggle it around, make sure it's down in that little groove. Some big old fat screws that go in there. Now this goes in here. That little door, there's your little spring. Get this a little bit cleaner. The soot was very thick on here. This was totally black. This was all black around here. This was black inside here. It was a terrible mess, but I cleaned it out. It's better. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to get it perfect as much as I would like to have it perfect. I just don't think that's not an attainable goal at this time. So this goes through a set of holes into this cap right here. There you can see that. So now so that just comes right off. No, actually it's not supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. So then this goes on here, like so, and then you can pick it up and take it wherever you want. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to try to light it off. I wanted to show you what it looks like, and you lift up this little handle, and the camera's not going to focus right, but anyway, you can see the wick down there. See it move when I do that? So I raised it up a little bit. I'm going to lift up on that, and I'm going to push the little pedal. See the little orange glow in there? But it didn't light it. I'll turn the wick up a little more and try it again. There it goes. So, lower that thing down. Had a big old billow of smoke coming out of the top. So, but it all the way around there. Okay. I'm gonna close the door and bring up here. You can see maybe through the window. You can see the flame in there. So I'm gonna let it warm up for a few minutes and then try adjusting it some and see how it works. The other thing is I've been learning that these heaters are either on or off. You can't adjust the output of them as such, because if you try to do that, you'll end up with a smoky flame or whatever, and that's not good. So you basically want to get the thing to burn to where it's got an even flame all the way around and isn't sooty, and that's it. That's how you adjust it. So anyway, you can see the more of a flame over there. We'll let it warm up some and see if it gets more even. Anyway, that's a wrap. And there's the old kerosene heater from one of my other videos. Taking it out here and trying to see if I can get it adjusted right. I'm not sure I'm totally thrilled with it. I don't think it's something I would want to use in the house just because of the smell. It does have an odor to it, which is, maybe it's just because it's such a huge kerosene flame. I don't know. My kerosene lanterns don't stink the house up, but I can guarantee you this bad boy will. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just hang on to it and use it in the garage when I work on a car in the winter or whatever, but I don't want it in my shop. I really don't want it in the house. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Anyway, there it is.